had a good experience with a man.
This is how I came to love my vagina. It's embarrassing because it's not politically correct. I mean, it should have happened in a nice warm bath with salt grains from the Dead Sea, and yet playing in the background, me loving my woman self. I know the story. Vaginas are beautiful. Our self-hatred is only internalized repression and hatred of the male patriarchal culture. It isn't real. Pussies unite. I know all of it. If we had all grown up in a culture where we were taught fat thighs were beautiful, we'd all be pounding down milkshakes and eating Krispy Kremes, lying on our backs, spending our days thighs expanding. But we didn't grow up in that culture. I hated my thighs, and I hated my vagina even more. I thought it was incredibly ugly. I was one of those women who looked at it, and from that moment on, I wished I hadn't. It made me sick. I pitied anyone who had to go down there. In order to survive, I began to pretend there was something else between my legs. I imagined furniture. Cozy futons with light cotton comforters, little velvet CDs, leopard print rugs, or pretty things, such as silk handkerchiefs, quilted pot holders, or place settings. I got so accustomed to this that I lost all memory of even having a vagina. Whenever a man was inside me, I pictured him inside a mink-lined muffler or a Chinese bowl. Then I met Bob. Bob was the most ordinary man I had ever met. He was thin and tall and nondescript. He wore khaki tan clothes. Bob did not like spicy foods or listen to Prince. He had no interest in sexy lingerie. In the summer, he spent his time in the shade. He did not share his inner feelings. He did not have any problems or issues. He wasn't even an alcoholic. He wasn't very funny or articulate or mysterious. He wasn't mean or unavailable. He wasn't self-involved or charismatic. He didn't drive fast. I didn't particularly like Bob. I would have missed him altogether if he hadn't picked up my change that I dropped on the deli floor. When he handed me back my quarters and pennies, and his hand accidentally touched mine, something happened. I went to bed with him. That's when the miracle occurred. Turned out, Bob loved vaginas. He was a connoisseur. He loved the way they felt, the way they tasted, the way they smelled, but most importantly, he loved the way they looked. He had to look at them. The first time we had sex, he told me he had to see me. I'm right here, I said. No, you. I have to see you. Turn on the light, I said, thinking he was some weirdo freaking out in the dark. He turned on the light, then said, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to see you. I'm right here, I waved. Right here. Then he began to undress me. What are you doing, Bob? I need to see you, he replied. No, just do it. I need to see what you look like, he said. But you've seen a leather couch before. Bob continued. He would not stop. I wanted to throw up and die. This is awfully intimate, I said. Can't you just do it? I mean, seriously. No, it's who you are. I need to look. I held my breath. He looked. He looked. He got breathy, and his face changed. He didn't look ordinary anymore. He looked like a hungry beast. You're so beautiful, he replied. You're elegant and deep and innocent and wild. You saw that? There? It was like he read my palm. I saw that, he said, and more, much, much more. He stayed looking for almost an hour, as if he were studying a map, observing the moon, staring into my eyes. But it was my vagina. In the light, I watched him looking at me. He was so genuinely excited, so peaceful, so euphoric. I began to get wet and turned on. I began to see myself the way he saw me. I began to feel beautiful and delicious, like a great painting or a waterfall. Bob wasn't afraid. He wasn't grossed out. I began to swell, began to feel proud, began to love my vagina. And Bob lost himself there, and I was there with him, in my vagina, and we were gone.
This is a not-so-happy fact found in UNICEF's 2005 report, Female Genital Mutilation and Cutting, a Statistical Exploration. Female genital mutilation has been inflicted on approximately 113 million girls and young women. In the 28 countries where it's practiced, mostly in Africa, about 3 million young girls a year can expect the knife or the razor or a glass shard to cut their clitoris or remove it altogether. In a man, it would range from amputation of most of his penis to removal of all of it. Short-term results include tetanus, hemorrhages, cuts in the urethra, bladder, and vaginal walls. Long-term, chronic uterine infection, increased agony and danger during childbirth, and early deaths.
And this is why we do this. This is why we put on the production of the Vagina Monologues every year. This year, our recipient, all the proceeds from this year's production goes to women in the Congo. These women are experiencing the most horrific sexual violence that you can think of. Girls, women, older women are experiencing fistula. They're being raped, they're having objects shoved into them, and then they're not enough hospitals to take care of them. And this is why we're doing this year. This is where the money goes this year. The money goes to build hospitals and transition homes so that these women can have a better life.
And on that happy note, or not, we have some treats outside. It is intermission time. There is complimentary drinks, and then there are some wonderful chocolate vaginas that I'm sure everybody would like to have their mouth on. So they're for sale amongst other sundry items.